What's going on, everybody? So today I'm doing some maintenance on the Wildcat Sport, my wife's machine here. Just going through a few things, getting it prepped ready for the season. Just figured I'd kind of go over some things that wear items that you need to look for. A lot of people looking at these units, they want to know what to look at, what to look for, any common problems with them and whatnot. No real common problems with these. They're a pretty stout unit, but there's a lot of wear items that go on these. Actually, there's no grease fittings on these machines at all, so some of the components wear a little bit faster than others, but overall they're pretty solid. So I'll go through, show you what we got going on this, and we'll go from there. Just took all four corners apart, greased all the bearings. So you got a 30 millimeter nut, pop that off, pull your axle out. I like to pull my lower ball joint out and drop the lower, and then undo the shock. Then I can pull the whole upper assembly off. Axle slides out pretty easy. 30 millimeter grease tool. They do not have an over the axle tool for these. They're too small of a bearing to get an over the axle tool in, so you'll have to get yourself a grease tool, and unfortunately you got to pull the axles on these. Cheap Amazon grease tool works phenomenal. So the Sports are dual caliber or dual piston caliber on the front, single on the back. The backs are the same as the Trails, but wear items is your ball joints and your bushings. I mean, basically just go through, give everything a good shake, double check everything. I do it a couple times a year. This one, we got a little bit of play here. I know it's either that bushing going bad or this nut getting loose. These upper A-arm nuts do come a little loose every once in a while, so you got to keep up with those. You'll wear out your bushings faster. Shout out to Garage Product Bushings. It's what I run in everything. Lifetime guarantee. I've never had an issue in all of the years I've been running these bushings. I have the shock bushings in my Trail, not on the Sport. Bandit UTV suspension here on the Elka Stage 5s. Those are great. Shout out to Wildcat Riders and Bandit on the hookup on those. Stud upgrade on this. Little baby studs, little 10 millimeter studs. You get a 12 millimeter upgrade from Awesome Off-Road. Great products. Definitely worthwhile. That way you're not shearing anything. Castle nuts go to 200 pounds, just in case you're wondering. There is a downloadable PDF on some of the Facebook pages, countrycat.com also. But once again, check all your bushings and stuff. Make sure they're all good. Good to go. Oil, change, and transaxle. Transaxle, oil. So you got your drain down here, your fill over there. Fill up here, drain down there. Oil, you got your oil drain down here. Oil fills in the cab. Oil filters in the cab. Access through there. Passenger side. For me, it's the easiest because we got aftermarket seats in the driver's seats. It's a little dark down there, but let's see if I can get some light on here for you. Make sure this area gets cleaned up pretty good. I got to do a little bit more cleaning around the oil fill. I sprayed out some WD-40 a little while ago, so it's got that wet look to it. It's actually cleaner than she looks. But switch it back around here. Coming over to what fluids we're running. Arctic brand filter here. Boom. Part number for you. Arctic oil 040. I keep a jug kicking around with the fill line so I don't have to screw around with the gallon jugs. Transaxle fluid. Transaxle takes one of these bottles. Perfect amount for the Wildcat 700s. And then we got our front gear lube. A couple tricks of the trade. That's a Lucas oil. It's kind of like a, cone-shaped cap so you can fill gear lube. I stuck a brass bushing in there. Stuck a piece of tube on here. It's actually a tube from the lower unit pump. I was going to try to use it, but the thread wasn't the same, so didn't use it. But either way, I kind of did something similar for these transaxles fluids too. This is a gear oil lower unit filler. This is part that screws into the lower unit. Got a rubber gasket in there, and a nut, and no leaks. And I got a flexi line to fill in there. And then I got me a filter with a funnel, with a hose to get into the cab for oil fill. So the oil fill is down there, like I said. That's kind of a pain in the butt to get to, so you got to hold that up. Downfall with that funnel is it does have the filter in it, so the oil's slow going through it. But I'd rather have the filter in there and make sure no crap's getting in there. And then not much else to look at. Or your air filter is back here. Just a couple quick clamps. That'll come right off. Bada bing, bada boom. Clutch cover right here. You can't get to that with the tire on. That's a bonus with the Wildcats here. You can change your belt without having to take tires off on the 700 models. Air intake's there. But for basic wear components, there's not much going on with that for the most part. They're pretty simple machines. I have an emergency brake in mine. My wife does not. Thingy that makes those are a great product. I like mine. My wife didn't want one in hers, so she carries around a rubber tire chalk, and I just throw it under her tires when we got to park on a hill or something, but no big deal. So that's about it for the shakedown on what to look for on these things. There's not much really on. Pretty much most machines are maintained the same way. Got your oil, your coolant, your diff fill, your diff drain over here. It's easier to pull the skid plate that's off on this. I have an aftermarket skid plate. It's aluminum on here. So it's 4 bolts. That comes down. Then the gear oil doesn't sit in here and drain, and gear oil stinks. It's not so bad with the rear, but the oil sits in the frame and then it drips, and then you're wondering if you're leaking or anything. But just to keep things cleaner, easier to pull the pan. It only takes a second, especially when you got the machines jacked up like this. So hope this helps out some people that are looking to maintain their Wildcats, or looking to purchase a Wildcat or whatever. There's a bunch of them on the marketplace right now and stuff, so they're a fun little rig. They're definitely got a good amount of power for the little machines that they are. They're not monsters, but they're what we use them for. They're phenomenal. So once again, hope you enjoyed the video. Hit that subscribe button, hit the thumbs up button, and hope to see you out on the trails. And hopefully the next video is a good trail video. Plan on doing some riding down in PA this season, heading up north to Lewis County trail system here in New York, and then that's about all we really got planned this year as of right now. It's still early in the season. Things pop up, so we'll go from there. Once again, thank you. Enjoy. Stay safe out on the trails, everybody. Later.